And then when people call it out, like I hate this too. And like Gandhi said something earlier, like the people that are scared to call out that there is a problem within the culture are not within the culture. And fucking
It's all right, but like that is what I was trying to say. I'm not trying to say that there's one culture, right? It's like there's no one community. There's no brown community. There's no black community, right? But if you live it, it's so obvious to us. It's so obvious. We live and breathe it. Why can't we say it? It's so obvious to us. And why just because someone else who's from a privileged background, who it's not obvious to, why do we have to write an essay for them? Are we only valid if we write the right essay? Is that really what's going on? I know that's not what's not going on because I could write a better essay than you. So really what's going on, you know? What's going on is like, I don't have any power to be like, yo, can you think deeper about what your actions are doing? Because you can't do that to people. All I can do is I call them pussy, insecure, invalid, bad writers, no taste. I said little dick like 3 times, right? All that applies to them. Even the female rap writers, you got little dicks. That's why you write like that.
Right.
And I'm not supposed to say anything about it.
So I don't look like a dickhead though. I was trying to remember her name, Tipper Gore, right? Because I was gonna say, and then I froze up. They try to say you're on some like Tipper Gore parental advisory shit, right? Because that was the whole movement in the 80s of people trying to ban music. And that's why people within the culture, like, bro, I'm not trying, like, that's not what this is by any means. So I'm just saying, like, that's what the liberal journalists will say if you criticize, like, what YB, Dirk, the culture around it. It's not even like, I'm glad that those people came from poverty and have generational wealth, if they do, if they're allowed to keep it and inherit it. But like, we can't deny that it's built around a gladiator tournament between 2 black men where people have already been killed for it. And these kids are waiting, and these labels are waiting for who's going to die next. Whether it's someone in the entourage. Now, if someone dies that's not even a famous artist or whatever, they become famous. We all learn their name because they realize that's views, that's likes. Like, so that whole culture, I like some YB music for sure, and he's talented. Like, but the reason he's being pushed up is because that shit, there's kids that probably don't even listen to music that much or even like hip hop that much that are addicted to this like drama porn, right? So I'm just saying, like, I was trying to remember the name, like whatever in the 80s with the parental advisory and the Tipper Gore shit and like satanic. But they try to say if you criticize that, you're on some like conservative shit or whatever, and we just like cut it out, bro. Like, this is real. Like, people are losing their lives to fucking meet this standard. Like, this.
Well, and I want to say you're brave, bro, because I'm from where you're from. I mean, I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I know that white liberals heavily police the way that white people talk about culture. You're not supposed to go around saying modern day rap music is harming the youth. You're not supposed to say that. That'll get you called racist quicker than almost anything. You can't even say, you can't say shit about Youngboy, really. And I mean, I think he's good too. I think he's a mad talented kid. Everybody thinks that, but it's like, you're really not supposed to go around talking about how modern day rap harms our youth.
You had a Glow Gang hoodie on last clip I saw of you, bro. And don't get me wrong, I love, like, that was all I listened to in 2010, 11, 12. I'm just saying, like, we're talking about the industry, bro. It's beautiful to me that Chief Keef is outside of that, and he's independent. That's why he's a hero to me. Like, whether he goes and breaks down all the shit we're talking about or not, he's living it. He's not, the whole industry says he's a flunky because he like didn't show up to a video shoot with 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa. That's the whole talking point. Any mainstream article you read, they're gonna talk about that. It's like, bro, no real like Chief Keef fan gives a fuck about that song with 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa. Like, that was some industry forced shit, just like the Don't Like remix was industry forced shit. But you still hear people say like, oh, that's when Chief Keef blew up, because he got on this remix with Big Sean and all these people. And that goes into what we were saying earlier. People are scared. They don't have the confidence, like, intellectually to admit to even look into something or like something that hasn't been approved yet. That's why whenever the industry does realize, oh, we could make a shitload of money off this, the first thing they do is they put them like Big Rock, Boston Richie that just came out. Like, they're like, okay, let's get Future on the remix. Let's just get him on all these collabs. You know, Dirk on the remix of songs he already did. But they know, even though those songs are good and that he's the one that made those songs, they know that in order to take them to the next level, they have to get Future on it or Dirk on it, because people are programmed to, they can't think for themselves. They have to, oh, this is okay. I'm in the category. I like this kind of stuff. So that gives them the okay. And I see it even on a local level. Like, some of the most talented people I know are not getting any recognition locally by the press, not by the people, and it's sickening, because that should be the job of a journalist or a DJ that's the whole thing. Your ear, your mind, like, you're like, oh, I found some shit. That's dope.
This was to put on.
That's what a DJ is supposed to be. But it's the polar opposite now. And that's why I have no respect for them. Like you said, DJs, journalists, they need to step it up, because if or not, they're all the enemy and we're all throwing them under the same umbrella. Like, I almost want to hold back, because I'm like, well, there's like 1.5 that aren't fully.
Well, if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply.
Then it's like, nah, none of them are doing shit, bro. They're all playing the game. Like,
that's why I use words like all to fuck with people. If it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you, bro. Why you get so mad? If I say I hate rappers that make weak music, why is every rapper offended? Why'd you get bothered? I said that.
Right.
I hate producers with weak beats. I don't see you get mad. I mean, all right, like, okay, like there's a lot of shit. Journalists, DJs is over for them. It's old. There's no hope of them coming back, because think about it. Like, why would they? They get everything they need. If they were in this shit to help the community, because they love culture, because they want to make a real new environment, they would already be talking about this, but they're not, because they're doing it to get followers on social media, get clout online, get more bylines. That's all they care about. And if they want to act like they don't, then prove it to us.
Exactly.
Prove it to me that you're not like that. But
exactly.
can they? No, because real talk journalists are just like everybody else, every other job. They have to do what their boss says, or they get fired, just like everybody else, okay? So we should even stop holding any of these people to any standard that they're going to do anything good for anyone. They're going to put anyone on, do anything for their community. That's not the truth. The truth is they have to do what their boss says, or they get fired, just like everybody else. So we need to stop exalting people. Like we this is our problem. We exalt rappers, athletes, like journalists. Why do we exalt them? They're not the ones that are going to help us. And if you think about it this way, right? Who can afford to say something? Can a rapper really afford to say something? Not really, right? Can an athlete afford to say something? No, because they might lose their job. Can a journalist say something? No, they might lose their job. So really, the only people who are able, can afford to speak about these things, either don't have to worry about money, or they don't have to worry about losing their job. That's why we can't trust journalists. We can't trust athletes. That's who we look to for guidance.
And I even see the
one people you can't look to. You can't look to them.
Right. And the few journalists that have even remotely respectable knowledge of hip hop, they'll talk about being the token black guy at the company. Like, I see this locally too. They'll talk about, oh, there's 2 black people in the whole scene, and they get us confused because we're the token black guys for these stations and papers. And like, they're still playing that game though. But yeah, man, like,
everybody's playing the game for themselves right now. That's really the thing. It's fine to play the game for yourself, but don't act like you represent the marginalized. Don't act like you care about the community. Don't dictate who's right and who's wrong. Don't put morality, your privileged upbringing morality on us. When you're doing for self just like everybody else. Just like we're doing for self, you're doing for self. But you're the one out here that's telling us who's wrong. Oh, you're doing this thing wrong. You're doing that. You got a lot to say, but you're doing it for yourself just like everybody else. So when I don't even know. That's why I want to call out names specifically. Like, that's really what I'm trying to do, because even the way I say this is gonna rub them the wrong way, but it's not gonna sting. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, like, I'm not trying to put anybody else on trouble. I want to take it. I don't want anybody else to deal with the repercussions. I want to take it. I want to call people out. I know that I already have all this shit. I have a month-long plan, bro. Like, I have a year-long plan. Every journalist I save all their names, and I save their bylines, the music executives, Lucien Grange, Elliot Grange. Like, I got all the info. I have all the receipts, and I'm just waiting, bro. I'm waiting. I'm gonna start baiting it, and I'm gonna put it all out there, because I realized who can afford to talk about this stuff? Literally just me. It's literally just Big Baby Gandhi. Like, I know people hate that. If you really have to think about it, oh, some Indian kid out there in Queens who thinks he's black is literally the only savior in rap who cares about the hood and the culture. And that's even more sickening. That's even more disgusting. Rest in peace, Darren Seal. You know what I'm trying to say?
Definitely.
And these journalists, I mean, they might get into rap journalism to have some sort of integrity or something, but like you said, they have a boss coming to their desk. Like, do you have that Who I Smoke article done yet? Do you have that article with all those dead kids in it? We want to know the names of all those kids who died. You better give me the names of every single dead kid.
Can we talk about rap journalists and how what they did with this Young Thug story? Like, should I go in? Should I go in?
Go in.
Have you read any like complex Rolling Stone? Okay, let me just break it down. There's the whole Young Thug RICO case, right? We love Young Thug, one of the best rappers ever, right? We love him. Also, in the court cases, it turned out they have him on wiretap. Like, you remember the show The Wire? They have him on wiretap saying, "Oh, did you kill those people yet?" They have him on tape, like the murder of like 28 people, right?
17-year-olds.
They're like, and they're all young, poor black kids, 17, whatever, in Atlanta, right? So I don't know, just me. I think that's bad. I think murder is bad. That's just me. I think if you murder, like, if you're responsible for like 20, 30 people dying, that's not good. I think you should go to court. I think there should be a trial because you killed 20, 30 people. That's me. I know that makes me wrong. All right. You read a rap article. Is there any one mention of that? Nope. It's all about, oh, this is the stereotypes, this is how it's racist, quoting how other rappers are afraid for their life, talking about how one of the Migos is afraid they can't rap the same because their lyrics are gonna be used against them. Change your lyrics, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? All right, like this is what this article is talking about. Do they have one quote of a victim's family? Did they ask one person who died? Did they talk to their mother, to their uncle, their neighbor when their whole block got shot up, what they felt? Do these journalists even care? No, of course they don't care. Isn't it journalism to interview people? They don't give a fuck, bro. They don't give a fuck about what happens to us. That's what I'm really trying to get at. Like it's so easy to be like, oh yeah, like rap journalist is funny. Oh, Pitchfork is funny. It's not funny. It's evil, bro. They're evil. They're going to hell. Yo, let me keep it 1,000. In Islam, I'm Muslim, right? In Islam, rap journalists are going to hell. Rap journalists are going to burn in the 7 circles of hell as ordained by Allah. That's what's going to happen. It's going to happen to them. I could tell them now, hey, bro, you're going to hell, bro. Well, they're not going to hear it. They don't like how that sounds, right? But it's going to happen to them, bro. They got to live with that. They got to walk with that. Big Baby Gandhi told you, like, hey, bro, you're going to hell, by the way. But they're not going to live with that. They don't got God in their life, so it's going to happen to them.
They didn't even wait. They didn't wait for the facts to come out before they started writing those articles too. Like, YSL isn't a gang. This is ridiculous. This is racist. Isn't it a black DA? Isn't it a black female DA?
Yeah.
They didn't even wait for any facts to come out before they said YSL is not a gang.
Atlanta's a black Mecca. Everyone's black.
He's terrorizing his own community. I mean, I don't want to say too much about it. I've always listened to his music ever since he's been out. But he's terrorizing the community that he came from, and he's terrorizing people that have no money and are young and are impressionable and got sold this lifestyle by somebody else, by somebody like him, and by the people that he works with. So it's just, I feel like they should have at least waited.
Or I didn't even know that because I thought it was just like YFN Lucci affiliate, whatever beef was going on.
I didn't case with him too, yeah.
Because I don't read the fucking.
It's all right, bro. That's why I'm here, bro.
And I do love that.
I know how it is now. When you open an article, that first paragraph make your head hurt. You're like, I can't read this. That's why I'm here. I realize that's my goal. I'm gonna read it and I'll tell people what's going on. That's what I realized. That's my goal. I have the superpower. I can read any number of pages without my brain hurting. You know, that's what I'm here.
I feel that so much, dog. Like that's my whole thing. I'm translating shit. I'm looking under the rocks. I'm looking under the dirtiest rocks at the beach and like flipping it over. I'm seeing, oh, there's a bunch of crabs and centipedes and shit under here. But you would never know if you didn't flip under the rock. And like I can translate that to people that don't look
to your community. I translate for my community. You translate for your community.
100, bro. And that's always been my role in my community the entire time, whether I had a platform or not. Like, and that's a beautiful thing. And there's other people that have roles that I can't match. I can't do what they do, but like I do what I can do. So
I mean,
What's up? That's what diversity freedom is. It's unity and diversity. Is everyone's diverse uniqueness.
Let's give a shout out right now. Shout out to UDF. You want to shout them out?
Bro, I can't even shout out UDF because I am UDF.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Shout out AJ.
If anyone doesn't know, like unitydiversityfreedom.com. That's what I'm saying. Like freedom is found by, it's not being an island and being alone. It's being yourself and everyone around you being themselves, and not being, oh, we have to be the same. Like that's everything we're speaking against is I have to be like this, I have to be like this, dress like this, talk like this. It's not.
I mean,
we need to appreciate in each other. That's where it starts, because we can't control what the industry does. We have to appreciate within each other what makes them a beautiful person, a rare person, instead of just being like whether or not they're falling in line with this trend or whatever, you know?
It's not even normalized to have a calling before, to be like, I'm called to do this. Rappers don't say they're called to be a rapper. You have Lil Baby doing those interviews where he's saying, oh yeah, everybody just told me I was so cool and sexy, so I became a rapper because I was so cool and sexy. He was like a young kid in there, like, you're too cool and sexy to not be a rapper. Nobody's like, oh, I'm called to tell the truth. I have a calling for this. This is the impact I want to have in the world. So it's just cool to see anybody be like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is the change that I want to make in the world, because people just don't even do that anymore.
Well said, bro. That's how I feel 100%. And that's why I don't care if they have no social media. If I see someone that has that light in them, bro, that's my brother. Like everyone, you know, I'm going to invest in the people that.
Yo, it could be as simple as just observing and nodding, bro. Like I'm saying, I don't need people to come to me and give me support. You don't even gotta like my post, bro. Just look at it and nod. If you like it, other people on the timeline can see you like my post. So you don't gotta like my post. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for any support. I'm saying I'm here for you. Like you can, like I'm saying, telling anybody, there's stuff about the music industry or society you want to talk about. You want someone else to post it that they feel that they can't say that shit. Send it to me. I can say that shit. I'm privileged. I'm privileged because I'm Big Baby Gandhi. I have a doctorate in pharmacology. I have a 6-figure corporate job. Okay, I'm privileged. I'm the privileged guy in rap, and I'm here for you guys. I'm gonna take the arrows.
Beautiful, bro.
Yo, one last thing. I don't mean to derail, but okay. So you remember talking about translating what happens to things? The RICO case with Young Thug, right? So we went through the first and second layers, which is, you know, one is trying to deflect away from issues in the culture. 2 is like the actual people he killed. Number three is actually the big part here. This is where the money comes in, right? So Atlanta is set to have an Olympics in the next like 4 to 8 years. But what's happening right now is a bunch of Black people bought property in Atlanta the last 20, 30 years. They've seen some profit, right? Now with a coming Olympics, they're going to make even more money, right? Whether it's Airbnbs or your proximity to the stadium, whatever. But now all of a sudden you got all these people coming in, your crime rate is going up. People are getting their shootouts in like popular areas. So now how are you going to make good on that Olympic bid? How are you going to invest in your community? The people who already bought property and invested in their community, now they have to lose money. Like this is what happened in Queens, Jamaica, Queens in the 90s. All right. When there was one point where I think it's called Jamaica Hills or Jamaica Estates. It was the #1 neighborhood in the entire country with the highest net wealth of Black people in the country. Right. Within like 5 to 6 years after the crack era, it just shot right down. And that's what's happening to a lot of like these inner cities. That's what's happening in Atlanta is you have Black people who bought homes, you know, over the last 10 to 30 years, losing all their real estate value because there's people coming in and, you know, under the guise of like creating a new rap crew to blow up in music, that they're committing crimes and like killing people and making it much harder to invest in that community. So that's the real thing that's going on. Yeah, what do you hear from journalists? Oh, this is racism. Do the journalists even know anything about Atlanta? Yo, shout out to George Cheedy, though. He's the one guy that's been reporting about the YSL case. He's the only one I've been getting all this information from. Okay. But that's like the one guy. And George Cheedy himself, because he puts the stuff out there, he gets so much hate online. So he gets trolled, he gets called Uncle Tom, he gets called a bootlegger, he gets called all this stuff just because he sits in the courtroom and writes it down and reports it. That's really what's going on.
Only guy writing about it too. Only guy putting the facts out there. Nobody else is. Nobody else wants to. They don't have anything to gain from it. And journalism should just be about getting to the truth. It shouldn't be about getting clicks, but it is.